Hey everybody, Sean Hatzel here with Getlean and 12, going live down here in beautiful sunny Sarasota. I just lost my signal going live a second ago, so I apologize if you're watching that video and it got cut off. But inside this video, I'm going to share 5 ways that my wife Karen and I eat lots of our favorite carbs without storing them as fat. And you can apply this as well. I think everybody would agree that low-carb diets are known for helping people lose belly fat. But it's really no fun. In fact, if you understand how to eat carbs the right way, they can actually help you increase weight loss. You just have to understand the 5 tricks that I'm going to tell you inside this video. So the first thing I want to talk about is me and my background. So if you're scrolling through your feed and you don't know who I am, I want to make sure that you understand where I'm from and where I've come from. I'm a stubborn fat expert. I've been in this industry over 20 years, and I got my start way back in 1998 when I placed first runner-up grand champion in the Body for Life contest. It was a body transformation contest. And I was struggling with a custody battle over my 6-year-old daughter at the time. Now she's 25 years old, and we have a great relationship. But the Body for Life contest was my catalyst into the fitness industry, and it allowed me to be featured on ESPN, in Muscle Media magazine, and then just a couple years back, I was even voted America's most fit health and fitness pro over 40 years old by Club Solutions magazine. So I don't share any of this to impress you, just to impress upon you that you can trust the advice that I'm going to give you in this video, because I'm also going to share with you a 12-minute metabolic protocol that's specifically designed for the metabolism of people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s to quickly lose belly fat and fight the aging process. And this is inside of a system I've created called the Over 40 Absolution. And somewhere around this video you'll see a link for that, but don't click it yet, because I want you to do a couple things here. I want you to post your name down below. If you're scrolling through your feed and you see this, let us know where you're from. And then I also want you to learn these 5 hacks that will teach you how you can eat lots of carbs and not worry about fat storage. Also, inside the Over 40 Absolution, at the link around this video, you'll also learn about my wife's inspiring story. So we are grandparents. We have 3 beautiful grandkids, and we have 1 coming next month. And when we first met 11 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, and this forced her into early menopause, and she stored an excessive amount of upper belly fat because the treatments wreaked havoc on her metabolism and her hormones. And so this 12-minute metabolic protocol is the hack that she used when she woke up or before going to bed a few times a week to get rid of her belly fat. And when you click the link around this video to learn about our system, you'll see her after picture, and you'll also see that she's 57 years old and she looks like she's not a day over 40. So let's talk about these 5 different hacks that Karen and I use to eat lots of our favorite carbs and never store them as fat. So the first one is combinations, just understanding that every time you go to eat a starch or a ripe fruit or any type of sugar, you should always combine it with a complete protein source, and then you can always add in a veggie as well. What this will do is it will help stabilize insulin. Insulin is the body's storage hormone, and when insulin levels are elevated, it makes it nearly impossible for the body to access fat as a fuel source. So every time you eat a starch or a sugar by itself, it elevates insulin levels a lot higher than if you eat it with a protein and a fibrous veggie. This will balance blood sugar and keep the body in a fat loss environment. The second hack to use to eat lots of carbs and not worry about fat storage is your choices. This is pretty obvious. Things like baked potatoes are going to be a lot healthier than French fries. I know this is obvious stuff, but let's just talk about this a little bit, because a lot of people associate high carb intake with obesity, and this is really a myth. There is 5 or 6 blue zones across the world where more people live to be 100 than anywhere else. And almost every single one of these blue zones has a diet that is over 50% carbohydrates. And I want to give you one more example before we talk about choices here. One more. The 60-day only potato diet. This guy named Chris Voigt was the Washington State Potato Commissioner, and he decided to protest when the government decided to remove potatoes from the children's lunch program. He protested and ate nothing but potatoes for 20 days straight. or 20 potatoes for 60 days in a row. So literally 20 potatoes a day. Obviously, he wasn't deep frying them and eating French fries, but at the end of the 60 days, the results were remarkable. And I'll go ahead and post an image below showing his before and after results. He actually had a blood test that went along with this, showing that he dramatically lowered his cholesterol, his blood pressure, and his triglycerides. And get this, he lost over 21 pounds, eating nothing but 20 potatoes a day for 60 days straight. Now, I'm not saying you should do that. That's silly. I would never recommend that. But it does prove the point that despite all the bad press, high-carb foods like potatoes don't necessarily make people fat and obese. So you want to make sure that you're obviously picking carbohydrate choices that are from nature, that are more paleo type of carbs. A caveman could have easily dug up a potato. He could have easily picked a piece of squash. He could have easily picked and ate some ripe fruit. There's some non-paleo carb choices that are actually, I think, fully acceptable and great diet foods. And those would be like steel-cut gluten-free oats, sprouted grain bread like Ezekiel bread, and then even beans, as long as you don't eat them from a can. These are all high-carb foods that will help you in your weight loss efforts. The third hack is portion control. And this is a big one because we all want to eat a huge plate of pasta, right? So the key is to make sure that your carbohydrate source is about the size of your fist. And just make sure that you follow my first hack, that when you eat that carbohydrate, you balance it with a complete protein source. And then, of course, you can always add in a fibrous veggie to stabilize blood sugar more. So the fourth tip is timing, and this is a big one. There are 2 best times to eat carbs to help in your weight loss efforts. And remember, after a workout, the muscles are like a sponge that's been wrung dry, and they want to suck up nutrients, because during a workout, if you're using the right movement patterns, the right intensity levels, and the right rest periods, which you'll learn about inside my system at the link around this video, then what will end up happening is you'll deplete glycogen from your muscles and your liver tissue, and what that allows your body to do is to eat lots of carbs after a workout and not worry about what we call fat spillover. So your muscles will be wanting to suck up those nutrients after a workout. The second best time to eat carbs is the night before a morning workout. This will allow your body to digest and absorb and store glycogen so that when you wake up, you have energy for a workout. And you could, if you're healthy, I recommend that you even train in a fasted state. And I obviously recommend you follow the 12-minute protocol that I'm going to introduce you to at the end of this video. It's found inside my system called the Over 40 Absolution. So by doing this and balancing out your carbohydrates, you can actually increase metabolic rate and actually help increase your hormones that will help your metabolism stay healthy and in a fat-burning environment. So the final hack is using the right movement patterns, using the right intensity levels, and using the right rest periods that are based on your age category. So if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, you're going to want to get your hands on this 12-minute protocol. It just requires a few times of the week before you wake up, or after you wake up, or before going to bed. And I'll post some research below showing that when this is done properly, it can actually elevate the metabolic rate for up to 48 hours afterwards. This is a process called EPOC, or what we call the afterburn. And EPOC in the science world just stands for excess post-oxygen exercise consumption. So what ends up happening is just simply a fancy word or acronym for the amount of fat and calories burned after a particular workout. Now, inside my Over 40 Absolution, we're also going to show you how you can do this using just your body weight. So there's no equipment needed. You don't need a gym. I'm going to give you access to a fast start guide. So that way you don't got to read the whole 92-page guide. You can just get started today if you wanted to. And then I also included what I think is the most important tool is a success tracker, because this will allow you to print off your success tracker, and it will make sure that you follow through. It's one thing to obtain the right knowledge, and it's one thing to have it in your hands. It's another thing to apply it consistently. So I'll post a couple studies below showing that people who track their progress by using things like a success tracker actually enjoy exercising more, and they're more likely not to gain weight back, and they're more likely to stick with their exercise program. We also give you a 90-day money-back guarantee. So if you're skeptical about this and you don't know who I am, you don't have to worry. There's no risk involved because you have 90 days to check this out. And if you don't get great results, we'll gladly refund your money with no questions asked. Now, I also wanted to share with you that we have in there something called the Lean 19. And this is 19 rarely talked about diet hacks that are designed for the metabolism of people in their 40s, 50s, or 60s. And the last and final and most important thing is I want to mention our partnership with Living Water International. See, every person that grabs a copy of the Over 40 Absolution will donate $1 to Living Water International. That dollar can provide clean water to a needy child for almost 90 days. Now, last year doing this, we gave $29,792 to install 3 water wells, one in Honduras, one in India, and one in Nicaragua, and then another one's getting installed soon. We just don't know the location yet. And it's all because of people who took action and simply grabbed a copy of the Over 40 Absolution. Now, if you have questions, go ahead and feel free to post them in the comments down below. We'll do our best to answer them. If you got something out of this video, make sure you click the like button and you share it. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to check this out. Time is our most precious commodity. So if you're watching this, I want to make sure you got some value out of it. So make sure you share it, make sure you like it, and make sure you leave your comments. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Make it a great day and keep going strong.